Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't get it twisted. This rap shit is mine, motherfucker. The fucking game. Fuck what you heard. It's what you're hearing. It's what you're hearing. It's what you're hearing. It's what you're hearing. X gon' give it to you. Fuck with you to get it on your own. X gon' deliver to you. Knock, knock, open up the door, it's real. With a non-stop pop-up of stainless steel. Go hard, getting busy with it. But I got such a good heart that I'll make a motherfucker wonder if you did it. Damn right, and I'll do it again. Cause I am right, so I got to win. Break bread with the enemy. But no matter how many cats I break bread, but I break who you're sending me. You motherfuckers ever wanted nothing but your life saved. Bitch, and I sounded like that. I'm getting down, down like a foggy said freeze. But won't be the one ending up on his knees. Bitch, please, if the only thing you cats did was came out to play, stay out my way, motherfucker. Rock, then we gonna blow, then we let it pop, go, let it go. X gonna give it to ya, he gonna give it to ya. X gonna give it to ya, he gonna give it to ya. First we gonna rock, then we gonna blow, then we let it pop, go, let it go. X gonna give it to ya, he gonna give it to ya. X gonna give it to ya, he gonna give it to ya. You never gave nothing to me, but every time I turn around, cats got their hands out wanting something from me. Why ain't got it so you can't get it? Let's leave it at that, cause I ain't with it. Hit it with full strength. While my jail foggy, so I face the world like it's Earl in the bullpen. You're against me against you. Whatever, whenever, foggy, fuck you gonna do. I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing. Only foggy that you know who can kill. Come back and get the streets open. I've been doing this for 19 years. Foggies wanna fight me, fight these tears. I put in work and it's all for the kids. But these cats don't forget what work is. They don't know who we be looking, but they don't know who they see. Foggy, if we gonna rock, then we gonna roll, then we let it pop, go, let it go. X gonna give it to ya, he gonna give it to ya. X gonna give it to ya, he gonna give it to ya. First we gonna rock, then we gonna roll, then we let it pop, go, let it go. X gonna give it to ya, he gonna give it to ya. X gonna
Yo. I got things wrong there for a second. Welcome to the Untitled Car Show this week. Doing this kind of spur of the moment, so I didn't really put anything out there on social media that I was doing it, but this is going to be a quick show. Like I said, kind of a spur of the moment deal. Got a nighttime shot of the Rolex 24 from a couple years ago, actually from the 2020 Rolex 24. That's kind of a backdrop here of what we're doing. Gonna be starting off talking about that. Get the music paused. Gonna be talking about the Rolex 24. Good race. I watched a pretty good chunk of it. Won by overall winner was the Acura, which was not Sky Zone. What's up? The Acura was pretty dominant throughout the entire race. Which was, I want to say a surprise. I mean, they dominated practice, they dominated qualifying and stuff. The Cadillacs were very strong. The Porsches, not so much. No late night streams. Yes, I'm going to. This week was a pretty crazy week, so. But yeah. We got, that was like I said, the BMWs didn't have the greatest pace. One of them pulled off for a while for some issue. The Porsches were basically a non-factor, which is kind of surprising. I would have thought the Porsches would have been more involved in the overall race. What's up, Fox? The Fox. How's it going? The LMP2 race class, all the classes were very competitive. Obviously, you had some cars that finished on the lead lap still. The LMP2 class went completely the full 24 hours. They were battling it out for the lead. came down literally to the last, the front stretch. They basically won by a nose. I forget the overall time that they won by. I forget who won. I don't have any of this stuff. Like I said, this was a spur of the moment show. So it's going to be a quick one this week. Next week, we're going to get back to normal. Normal show. I'll have more stuff together for it. So I apologize for anybody. And also, whoever's not watching live, this will be on YouTube later. Later on today, I'm going to post it up on YouTube. I'm not live over there like I typically do it, but I'm going to see how this goes, and we're just going to do it. We're going to post this up later, so if anybody's wondering why I'm talking to other people who obviously aren't in the room, it's chatters from Twitch, who I appreciate stopping by. So yeah, the MP2, basically the winner won by a nose. You can find that footage easily. It's out there. It was a pretty big thing. They retweeted it again. That's awesome. But yeah, the Porsches were a surprise. I thought the Porsches were going to be more of a factor in the race, but they weren't. You have the GTD Pros, the LMP3s. The LMP3, I forget who, like I said, I don't have it in front of me who won, but they were just basically dominated the whole race. They were well ahead of the second place car. And you have GTD Pro, GTD. Those classes were good. I forget who won. I wish I had this stuff in front of me, but it's kind of what happens when you do like a spur of the moment show. We do have Nitro Rallycross in action this week. That's happening. They are again at a snow event, and it seems that Fraser McConnell is once again dominating. He got top qualifier, so he won all the battle brackets last night. There was I actually forgot about it, so I didn't watch it. Probably watch that later today. The finals will also be later today. They'll be airing those later on. You can find those on Peacock. I wish I watched the Mazda MX-5 races from Daytona, but I haven't watched those yet either. I did watch a very little portion of the Bathurst 12-hour. A Mercedes AMG GT won that. Seems like there was a bit of action towards the end. From what I saw a video a little while ago. I guess the two people battling for the lead kind of got together and one of them spun out. But I think that car actually ended up coming back to win. So that's kind of a cool thing, which I wish I could show the videos about things. But the last time I did that, YouTube took the video down. So wish I could show that. But I can't. So we got a background of a nighttime shot from Daytona from 2020. So we also have Rally Sweden next week. I just want to give you a heads up. Rally Sweden next week. I'll be doing WRC Generations on the show. I'll run a couple stages and stuff, and we'll kind of preview that event going down next week. Like I said, next week will be a better show. It'll be more, way more put together than what it is today. Yeah, this is gonna be a quick stream today. Kind of a last minute thing. I just slapped it together. But the biggest thing that I wanted to say something about this week before I finish here, like I said, it's gonna be just real quick. We got Daytona actually coming up. The Daytona 500 coming up in a few weeks. It's like a week or two after the Super Bowl. That's gonna be pretty exciting. They have the Clash at the Coliseum going on also this. I think today, maybe, or I think maybe today. Actually, I'm not entirely positive. I haven't looked at the NASCAR schedule for this year. I did see though that they're not going to be at Auto Club Speedway in California in 2024. So 2023 going to be the last year for that. That track's not really. It's not one of the bigger, more exciting ones. Unfortunately, it is a longer. I think it's about a 2-mile tri-oval. So we'll see what happens with that. Maybe it'll come back in 2025. Who knows? The biggest bit of news that I would like to talk about is the official announcement from Red Bull Racing in Formula One. I don't really watch Formula One, so I don't know all that much about that series. I probably will start following it a little bit more now that Ford has announced a partnership with Red Bull Racing, which is pretty cool. That brings them back into F1. I think I saw something about 2003, I think, was the last year that Ford was involved in any way in Formula One. They had a lot of success, actually, back in the day as an engine provider, mainly for like the Lotus F1 team way back in the day. So this is pretty exciting news for them to come back in. There is already an American team. Technically, the Haas team is, I don't know if you really could call it an American team, but the engine provider is not American. So this is going to be like I'm not sure where Red Bull's based out of, but an actual American auto manufacturer being involved. Haas obviously not an auto manufacturer. They do racing stuff, but yeah, Ford coming in 2026. So we have 3 more years. Apparently they're going to be hybrid engines. Excuse me. They're going to be hybrid engines, which is kind of news to me. Like I said, I don't really follow F1 all that closely. So I guess they have a plan of going hybrid, which apparently a lot of series are going hybrid. WRC being one of them that is already hybrid, and those cars are pretty wicked. So we'll see how F1 does it. F1, obviously, the cars are powerful. They're very lightweight, very technologically advanced. It is a super expensive series to be involved in. I mean, millions upon millions of dollars goes into the research and development of every car. And if you don't have a strong car, you basically have to wait till the next year. A lot of these teams kind of drop the ball in the beginning of the year, and they don't really catch back up. You can do slight things, I think, to the car throughout the year, but you basically wait until your next car, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. So that kind of does follow the Andretti Autosport news that they're teaming up with Cadillac to come in. So that's also another American team coming on in. So the grid is growing, and you figure they're going to have, basically going to have 2 cars apiece. So that's 4 more cars that's going to be added to the grid. Well, not 4 more cars added to the grid, I should say, because Red Bull is already a team. So sorry, I misspoke about that. And there is rumor that Hyundai kind of is interested possibly in coming into Formula One. Now that one's a bit shocking to me. And I'm sure it's shocking to a lot of people, because you wouldn't really think Hyundai, going to F1, like that's a huge series to go to. And their racing presence really, it's there. I mean, they have the TCR cars in the Michelin Pilot Challenge series. And basically, yeah, it's just touring cars, front wheel drive touring cars is what they're involved in right now, at least. So it's going to be interesting to see if they actually do come in to the sport, if it's going to be their own team, or if they're going to just maybe do like an engine provider situation to a team, and I guess we'll see what happens with that. I haven't seen official word about that, but a lot of people, and I think Hyundai kind of gets a lot of people talk a lot of shit about them with some of their cars, like the Elantra N, the Veloster N. They are a bit more little performance based cars, and they're not that bad actually. A lot of people talk shit about them. I've seen a few videos lately where people are just like, "Oh, it's a Hyundai." Like, okay, yeah, I get it, Hyundai. Not really the name that comes to mind when you think about a sporty performance car. But honestly, in my opinion, neither is a car brand like Cadillac. It's a luxury brand. And look, they have the CTSV, they have the CTSV freaking Blackwing stuff going on. You wouldn't really think of them as like that's a performance sedan and a luxury performance sedan. So Cadillac's not really, for me personally, a Cadillac's not a name that pops into mind when I'm thinking about performance company. When I think about performance companies, you're going to obviously think about like Lamborghini. You're going to think about, Ferrari, McLaren, Ford makes performance vehicles. They have the Ford GT, they have the GT 500, GT 350, the Mustang, Chevy with the Corvette and the Camaro, Dodge with their Hellcats that are sadly going away. So you do have all these companies that you do think about when you think about performance cars and performance brands and stuff like that, and who have been involved in racing for a long, long time. So it's interesting to see Hyundai's involvement if they choose to pursue it. Obviously, they also do have the i20N, which is their rally car. So, I mean, to my knowledge, those are the only two series, the WRC and the like TCR cars. So it's interesting to see. It would be kind of cool if they did pursue it. It just adds another manufacturer to the mix and, makes it a bit more of a bigger series, more competition type of thing, which you kind of like to see more manufacturers in different series. The V8 Supercar series is starting up pretty soon. Some of the Gen 3 cars, a lot of people showing off their liveries, starting to come out, and they have brand new cars. I think Gen 3 is what they're calling them. So those cars, I mean, they look fantastic, and it's going to be as usual, the Australian V8 Supercar series has for a long time been basically Ford versus, I'll say GM because it was Holden, but Holden is not GM, kind of pulled them out, and now it's the Chevy Camaro. So it's pretty cool. That is a good series to watch also. I mean, the cars are pretty cool looking, and some of the tracks are pretty beautiful. Like I said, the Bathurst 12-hour was going on, and that's a pretty iconic track, especially, V8 supercars, and endurance racing and stuff. But before I wrap it up, we do also have coming up in March, the World Endurance Championship begins at Sebring, and I believe that race is still a double header with World Endurance Championship and the IMSA WeatherTech Championship. So we got that coming up in March. Like I said, Rally Sweden next weekend. I'm going to look into if there's any other racing going on. Also, like I said, I'll also be playing WRC Generations on the show next week, talking about Rally Sweden and whatnot. So I will be going back to normal time next week. We're going to shoot for Saturdays at 11, which is kind of in the middle of like a race weekend. So yeah, I'm going to be working on a few things throughout the week. trying to change up some stuff like aesthetically and everything on my channels and whatnot, and try to clean them up a bit and make them look a little bit better. So there's a lot going on. The show's gonna kind of hopefully go back to normal next week. We'll see how this week goes. This week was kind of crazy a little bit. So yeah, I appreciate everybody watching. The Fox, thank you for stopping by and saying hi. Sky Zone, I also thank you for stopping by and chatting. I'm sorry this is a shorter show and I didn't have stuff kind of prepared. Again, I do apologize. So we'll be back to normal next week. I'll have stuff ready. I'll have more information about things. I'll have, the usual car stuff and usual racing stuff. And we'll be playing WRC Generations Rally Sweden. So I hope you all have had a great week this week. Hope you have a great week next week, and I will see you on the next show. Thank you and goodbye.
He gon' give it to you. He gon' give it to you.